Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I decided I wanted to change today, so we're talking adventure touring in Andy's stead. Have no fear, he will be back, but whilst I'm here to talk about the Falco footwear we have in front of me, of which we have 3 styles. They have quite an extensive range, but clearly we're talking about their adventure touring motorcycle boots today. We have a few different styles going on here. We've got some shorter boots if you want a bit more mobility, a little bit lighter. We have some more reinforcement, some taller boots, and then we have some tall boots that have the reinforcement but also the flexibility and mobility, which I'll get to. Now if you want to jump to any particular pair of boots, then there will be timestamps down below. What's consistent across all of these is something that Falco pride themselves on though, which is the comfort levels. These are instantly comfortable, very easy to break in, and the sizing is consistent as well, which is very important. Obviously you can check the size guide on our website if you need to. I think what's also true about Falco is they are quite good value for money as well against other boots in their category. Let's start with the Marshall in front of me then. So as of the making of this video, they have a price of around £230. They are fully waterproof, as are the rest of the boots on this table, and they're available in either black or brown, again, as are the other boots I'll show you. These are a shorter pair of boots. They have a mid-rise on them. The waterproofing, therefore, isn't going to come quite as far up your leg, but the big benefit here is going to be the mobility, the flexibility, and the fact they are a little bit lighter than the other boots here. But if you are going off-road, then you will probably, almost certainly, want to go with the taller boots, which I'll get onto. These use a full-grain oil-treated leather. They have some synthetic panels and areas across them. It is quite dark actually. I like that actually from my footwear anyway, and it is the sort of thing that's going to get a patina the longer you own it or use it. There are other sections in here, clearly very tough sections around your toe, for example here, very hard wearing around there. On the gear lever or around the toe for the gear lever. Obviously that's an area you do want to be tough, and on the outside of your heel also. They have a polyurethane buckle closure around the ankle, which is obviously very quick and easy to use and is consistent with some of the other styles I'll show you. This one on my right, for example, which we'll get on to. You can adjust that if you need to, and it just goes around the bottom there. As I say, nothing on the shin since these are a lower pair of shoes. And then you've got this Velcro around the toe there, and this thicker section to make it more comfortable against the lower part of your shin or around your ankle. It is kind of stiff in this area, not specifically reinforced, but it is nice and tough on the front there all the same, which is still useful. With the safety rating for footwear, there's only 2 levels, either level 1 for the lower rating or level 2. For these, they score level 2 in height, abrasion resistance, and impact cut resistance. They have a level 1, the lower rating, in transverse rigidity, which does make sense. The taller, chunkier, beefier, more reinforced boots should be a little bit tougher, and they are. They score 2s across the board. You'll also spot the D3O logo, something that is consistent across all of Falco's boots. They use D3O reinforcement, and you'll find that at your ankles. And they have a high grip rubber sole with a slight raise to that heel, which shouldn't impact your movement on the bike at all. Still pretty mobile there, so it won't keep you locked in place too much on the pegs. And the Falco Marshall use a High-Tex waterproof membrane on the inside. Then we have the Durant 2, which have a price of around £290. Again, they are fully waterproof and they're available in either black or brown. They use very similar materials on the outside. They are just taller and more reinforced ultimately than the previous pair. So they again use leather in sections of it with the same oiled treatment. You can see they look very, very similar. They use synthetic materials as well in certain areas, and they use some tough reinforcement also in the same sorts of areas as you'll find with the previous pair of shoes, but more extensively across the inside of your foot there. Great for protection against heat as you're against the bike on that side, for friction when you're rubbing and moving around on the bike as well. It's an area that tends to wear a little bit quicker, so it's tougher on the inside here. Noticeably, they feel more rigid in the footbed. They again use D3O reinforcement at your ankles. Like I said, that's consistent across Falco's boots, but they have more reinforcement to your shin. So you have this polyurethane plate, this section on the front of your shin there, obviously being a tall boot to protect more of your leg. They have a heavy-duty textured rubber sole with a slightly higher raise to your heel on this occasion. So if you do like to be more locked in place on the pegs and feel a bit more stable maybe, then that could be a useful thing. They have adjustable and replaceable aluminium buckles. You have a taller waterproof membrane on this occasion, so clearly it comes further up your leg, as you can see here. And it's a high-tex waterproof membrane once again, with these comfortable padded mesh sections around your shin, around your calf, to make it more breathable and obviously more comfortable as you're wearing them. Pretty simple in their design. I think they've got quite a decent amount of room actually around your calf, your shin, your ankle, in actual fact. So mobility isn't an issue with these at all, but they have other boots which have some fancier details, which are more flexible. So these are very simple in their overall design anyway, like I say. If you do want the same level of protection and reinforcement and toughness though, but you want that added flexibility, then have a look at the Avantour 3. Once again, these are fully waterproof, available in either black or brown, and they have a price of £320 as of the making of this video. As you'll see from the badge though, they use a Sympatex waterproof membrane, so slightly different, a well-respected name when it comes to waterproofing on the inside. Comes up to a similar height actually as the Durant 2. Again, these use a full grain leather outer, but it is sectional. There are areas of synthetic materials on these and some quite extensive reinforcement actually, quite a lot of polyurethane. So obviously on your shin there, tough, beefy. You have some around your ankle though as well, around the back of your foot to make it even tougher in that area. And that could be restrictive if it weren't for the added flexibility here, which I believe they call ESO Motion 2, which is an articulated, reinforced section around your ankle, and you've probably seen similar things from other brands. Further to that reinforcement, you have D3O once again on the inside around your ankles to make it a little bit more comfortable anyway, and a reinforced footbed. And like I mentioned before, these score 2s across the board for their safety testing. Once again, we have replaceable aluminium buckles around your foot, around your ankle, Velcro at the top, so you can open this up. Maybe a little bit softer even actually, in terms of the additional layer in here that backs the waterproof membrane, so you can see the gusset that goes all the way up there. And again, you've got this padded mesh section for breathability to allow airflow to move around. Now these fit a little bit more snug, I would argue, around your calf, or maybe I just tightened them in a little bit more. Maybe I had the confidence to do that because genuinely between the two, it is noticeable the added flexibility you have on offer here with this ESO system. Lastly, I should mention the sole, which is a high grip dual density sole. So arguably once again, slightly upping the level as far as comfort goes, because it will do a better job of absorbing vibrations and making it a bit more comfortable in the boot. And again, you've got a slight raise to the heel on these. As you can see then, Falco have you covered whatever your requirements may be. Maybe you want something that's better for some light touring, you want to maximize mobility, then the Marshall is a great choice. If you are going to go off-road, I would go with a taller boot, so something like the Durant 2, or if you want to stretch your budget a little bit more and get more versatility, the Avantour 3 is a great choice. You can find links to any of these in the description. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section, and either Andy or myself will see you soon.